EGM Network.
This is Martha Matters. From real estate, healthcare, current events, taxes, or just about any topic, we're talking about it. Call us with any questions on just about any subject. Now, here she is, Martha!
Well, hi there, and welcome. We want to go over the success of people using a calm approach to many differences. Historically, what's made our country really fabulous is you had slightly different views from the Republican Party, from the Democratic Party, but in the past, they've always been able sometimes to compromise down the middle, and sometimes one side or the other will explain their position, and the disagreeing side will change their mind. That's how democracy is supposed to work on all issues. And I hope we get back to that. A good example, I'll give you 4 different cases. I think it has stopped now as far as I'm concerned, or that I'm aware of. But for a few weeks in there, 2, 3, 4 weeks, we had this episode of Tesla cars and their dealerships, in some cases, being burned. The people who enjoy violence to try to change policy are very, very wrong. Unfortunately, in this case with the Tesla cars, by she, I mean AOC, have literally encouraged that. First of all, they did it without thinking. At that time, probably 2/3, if not 3/4 of the Tesla owners are Democrats, because all during the last 4 years, the electric vehicle scenario has been really, really encouraged. So burning some of these cars, if it isn't a Democrat, most of them are in the Democrat neighborhoods, which means even if you had a Chevrolet or something else, auto insurance in that whole district where the burning took place, auto insurance is going to go skyrocketing through the roof. So the person who did not suffer was Elon Musk, that they wanted to get out of his appointed position in office. And none of that worked. He left when he was good and ready. And meanwhile, we have pockets of very high auto insurance around the country, which isn't doing any of us any good, as Republicans, as Democrats, as independents. They are all paying the price for this car burning. And finally, I had a show on this not too long ago, and I'd like to think it maybe helped on stopping the fire problem. And it seems to be passé now for a couple of reasons. They realized it wasn't working, and number 2, Elon Musk has to spend the next few weeks on his space, that is his new town in southern Texas. He needs to get the program realigned with dates and goals, and he also needs to help Trump with some other things besides Doge. So I think we're past that. But the point is, let's go back to another issue. About 3 years ago, we had this culture cancel business and taking down statues and taking down history. It doesn't matter if the statue was George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, it even one of the Bushes, even Obama, even you name it, any single president, especially the Roosevelt, both Teddy and Franklin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Franklin. Yeah.
FDR. So they all were good presidents, and this cancel culture is ridiculous. Europe, in contrast, saves every little thing. There are little churches in small towns. They may be Roman Catholic, they may be Jewish, they may be Protestant, and they keep everything. If twins were born and died in the 1500s, they preserved them in a jar. If rats produced a funny kind of animal, they would put that in a jar too. They save every little thing. If George Washington slept in a certain place, they'd put signs up to that effect and try to have the same type of bed that he would have slept in way back then. Mainly hay, I guess it was.
Yeah.
Most of their mattresses.
Yeah, hay or straw.
Or
Yeah,
hay.
that's what I was thinking.
And they recommended and enjoyed saving history and historical events. That is very, very good.
It is, Martha, because when you bring in the word history, that's what it's about. So, I mean, there are bad parts to history and there are good parts to history. And so people, how many times have we heard anytime in school or college or whatever, history repeats itself, or make sure you learn something from this historical event because it's going to repeat itself. You don't want to make the same mistake, blah, 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 blah. On what you're saying, too, if you're coming to the conclusion that all of the bad stuff needs to be pulled down because it's against society, it's against this, and then you're also saying that in Europe they save all of these things. I mean, they would have bulldozed Auschwitz, they would have bulldozed all of these others, but yet they save it. So you can see this is what we don't want repeated.
Absolutely. It's saved as a lesson that this is not to happen again.
Correct.
And we should do the same thing with our country, not destroying all those statues. And then finally, some of the Democrats that are respected and the Republicans that are respected, like George Clooney and a whole host of others, put a stop to this, and thank God it stopped. But before we want to do anything violent or anything that may cause arrests or disturbances, let's all think twice before encouraging that. I don't think in a democracy that violence on the streets and among residential areas is not accepted. It is accepted in communism, is accepted in dictatorships, because that's the only voice they have.
Right, yeah.
And it has no place in a democracy where people from the day of birth on are taught to be responsible. My grandson, who was 7 years old, actually had a savings account and understood how compounded interest works at a very simplistic level. Things like that are taught kids when they're very, very young. That same grandson I'm talking about is now 14. And I cannot call him. He says, Grammy, I will not pick up the phone. Don't call him at 4 o'clock in the afternoon between Monday and Friday. Why? because that's when the stock market closes. I think it's great to teach kids little things like that as they're growing up.
Mhm.
Then it goes off their back like it's just meant to be. The importance of balancing a budget, the importance of if you just have $50 or less in a savings account versus $30 in one stock like Disney or something that appeals to him. It's amazing which one does better. And that's a great learning experience. You have too much else to learn in school at the mid-elementary level. More advanced math, more history, more European history, language, another language, whatever you choose, Spanish, French, even Latin. Usually most kids in mid-elementary school have to sign up for one language, whichever they prefer. And they have too much else to learn. Math is becoming more difficult, and English, reading novels is fascinating. It's a good habit. I'm glad my grandkids' school makes them read 5 novels during summer vacation and do a book report on them when they return. Things like that create fabulous habits and fabulous people in a democracy, no matter whether you're independent, Republican, or Democrat.
And you know what, Martha, the big thing too is in the society that we live in, we have freedom of speech. So why do you need to go out and burn somebody's car to make a point when you're allowed 24/7 to basically say whatever you want, that you have freedom of speech?
You're absolutely
I mean,
right.
it just doesn't make sense. That's not a professional agenda.
Right. It is. You're absolutely right. It's not professional. And I was going to bring up that problem next. Whenever people want to demonstrate free speech, preventing, like they did at Columbia University, preventing other people, Christians, Jews, it doesn't matter who, Hindu people, they try to prevent everyone else from entering the classroom and blocking them from getting into the school campus. That is not free speech. Free speech is when you stand across the street and you believe in a certain agenda or a certain recommendation, and you have posters and signs to that effect that of what ought to be done. That's fine. But anytime you block people from going anywhere, whether it's a restaurant, whether it's a campus, or you name the location, a stadium or what have you, anytime there's a blockage, it is trouble, and the people blocking deserve to be punished. Because blocking and having demonstrations like that historically has not been too much of a problem, except maybe during wartime. There will be demonstrators here and there that may overdo it. But in peacetime and in general conditions in the United States, there is no reason for blocking other people from going in certain areas. That is a no-no. And also where there were riots and burnings, it's pathetic. We're now calm about it, but you still have the spot in Portland, Oregon that was burnt out. You still have the spot in downtown Seattle where there were demonstrators and the police could not touch them. You still have all those spots that have not been rebuilt, not been made attractive again.
Yeah.
You could go through there now as if the riot was yesterday.
Yeah, and plus it morphed into other places that it wasn't really riots, but just things were allowed, like San Francisco, that was a phenomenal city at one point and doesn't seem to be that way right now.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
In other places too.
San Francisco, you can't walk from the Marriott Hotel to the Wharf without going through poop in the streets and homeless people lying there, and not to mention the fear of it.
Right.
When I went there several years ago, you could walk all the way from the Wharf to the Ghirardelli chocolate factory and think nothing of it. Today, you don't walk around that area more than 1 block, or you could be in for trouble. You could even be attacked. It's not pleasant to look at. It's not pleasant to walk through, and you better watch out. You could be held up also. That's totally unacceptable in a democracy. In Russia, like now, where they were demonstrating, they want the war to end, the public does. But there were bad sections, and those sections are still bad, never rebuilt. That's socialism, but that is not a democracy. When people in the streets decide what's best for them, and many of them, including the ones demonstrating by the schools, they don't even know the whole story. When they're interviewed, they don't even know the geography. When they yell "sea to shining sea," they don't know what they're talking about. There is no sea to sea. There's the lake and the Dead Sea, if they mean from that to the Mediterranean Sea, but they don't even know geography. They're just chanting what other people have told them. That's so pathetic. If we want to chant certain things, I don't care. You don't have to be super educated, non-educated, partially educated. It doesn't matter. All I'm asking, whatever you are, please check out things before you yell things. I don't take someone's word for something major. You shouldn't either. Know what to yell about and what not to yell about. Okay, believe it or not, we need to take a quick break, and I'll be back. I'll have some more facts for you, so stay with us. I want to introduce you to our main sponsor, Highland Plaza, located on US 1 on the east side of the Highland Drive traffic light. We even have our own left-hand turn lane. One of the places in there, the first one on the north side, is Easy Stop, and you will be surprised what competitive and beautiful prices they have. You should give it a shot. Also, Tony's Hairstyling Salon is ideal for the entire family at all ages. He and his wife have run a salon there for years with a huge following. Also, we want to tell you about La Taberna Restaurant. It has the freshest Mexican food in town and a well-experienced chef. You will be most surprised not only by the food, but the reasonable prices. Also, I want to tell you about the nail salon. It's Luxury Nails. Let me tell you, they do everything, both for walk-in clients and appointments. Appointments are really appreciated, but they treat all clients professionally. Now, I want to repeat to you, this is located on US 1, just east of Highland Drive at the traffic light. It's a beautiful yellow building with a maroon awning. We look forward to seeing you there. Come on over.
At Sunshine Furniture, our 35,000 square foot showroom is filled with the largest selection of coastal furniture on the Treasure Coast. Sofas, love seats, dining sets, and bedroom groups in the latest styles and colors from Four Seasons, Braxton Color, Riverside, Universal Coastal Living, Hooker, Capri, Tommy Bahama, and lots more. We're the outdoor furniture experts and have anything you need for your outdoor living from Lloyd Flanders, Kingsley Bate, Brown Jordan, and Woodard, including a gallery of maintenance-free furniture from Berlin Gardens and Pollywood. Right now, during our Memorial Savings event, we have lots of great half-price specials, including another 10% off on all Tommy Bahama and Lexington furniture in stock or special orders. And all pictures, lamps, and accessories are half price. Sunshine Furniture, $12.95 US 1 in the Publix Plaza, Vero Beach. Don't forget to visit our outlet and sales store directly across the street that is filled with name brand closeouts, and visit our website at sunshinefurniturecasual.com.
Evergreen Media is your go-to for podcasting. Business owners, boost your brand by educating clients with your own show. Just show up. We handle everything else. Get your custom video podcast on Facebook, YouTube, and more. Start today at egreenmedia.com.
Blue Dolphin Pools strives to provide quality service with a well-trained staff in the field and in the office. They want you to know that your pool or spa investment means much more to them than just another account. They believe you have entrusted them with your investment, and they'll do their best to see that it stays in top condition. Blue Dolphin Pool has been in business over 35 years, setting them apart from the competition. Residential or commercial, Blue Dolphin will keep you in the swim. 567-5853.
Well, here we are back, and I hope you are too. We've had historically in this country times when there were demonstrations, and I was old enough to remember. I remember those tent cities in the 1970s and things like that. And even they had trouble with rock and roll events and concerts that were open. So we've had a lot, but I'd like to believe that we learned our lesson not to have anything violent on what's supposed to be enjoyable, culturally good, and a night to remember for all of us.
Yeah, and on that note, in the 70s too, Martha, the 60s and 70s, it was a whole societal shift, and with the Vietnam War, were people getting information, more readily and saying, listen, this doesn't make sense. Why are we doing this kind of thing? Was it the right way to do it with, Kent University and all those kind of things? No. Probably in hindsight, but I mean, that's what they did then, or we did then too. So does it always work? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know if it worked or not back then.
Yeah.
I don't think it did, but the general public, even those that didn't demonstrate, got increasingly strong about being anti-Vietnam.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever, that came to an end. But even those demonstrations, yes, there were a couple of problems, but they didn't block people from entering different spots and what have you.
Yeah.
Today is a little more violent when the demonstrators are paid by Hamas and possibly George Soros and others. They have a mission, and they're not going to stop. And if their mission is ending the United States as a country, they won't stop. So we don't want that, folks.
Yeah.
And we've got to all watch what goes on and be very careful what we support and don't support. So have a great week. And believe me, we'll get through this, and we don't want anything more but peace and enjoyment of our neighbors and friends. So have a great week, and we'll see you next time.